Yeah, I like Sappers a little bit. It's Horde Week. We got Sneed, and we're going into Blackfathom Deeps. And we got Glazed Cannon, so we're going to build a run around it. And Glazed Cannon has insane synergy with Goblin Sappers. So Sneed, I think, is someone who benefits from running Goblin Sappers on this map because there's a ton of towers. We don't really care about what talent he has. If I had to pick one, I would go with Lead with Greed. And as a second one, mine is Money Friend, just for the extra gold from the gold mines. But I don't think Sneed's that important. If you have him at good level, he could be usable, though. The armor trade is pretty good in here. Pyromancer, I prefer Pyroblast to help me deal with the gargoyles that come out in stage 2. Otherwise, you can run Conflagrate just to get better splash and try and take down enemies a little bit better. I think Pyroblast is just better for base defense in general. There's a lot of just threats on your barracks all the time in this. Harpies, I like the Infectious Swipes again for the gargoyles. Gargoyles are armored. Infectious Swipes gives you a little bit of elemental damage to get through that armor. Now, for Whelp Eggs, I think they're very important for removing certain threats, particularly on stage 1 and stage 3. They're very good at removing the Murlocs. But if I had to do it over, I think I would probably just run Safe Pilot with the Glazed Cannon talent, and I would try and set this army slot to Unbound to benefit from the bonus levels. I would prefer to use Gnomish Cloaking Device because there's no poison to decloak the Safe Pilot except for those little streams in stage 2. So you're going to get more value out of your Safe Pilot with the Cloaking Device, but coming in hot isn't a bad choice either. And you could also go with the Muttonizer if you have a tank to tank for her. Now, this is a Glazed Cannon build, so we don't really have very many tanks. Earth Elemental, we are running the Obsidian Shard talent. This is really nice for this army slot because you need a siege unit. This is the best siege unit that can fit in Sneed's repertoire. Obsidian Shard allows him to tank a little bit longer and do a little bit more damage to tank those towers. We have Defiance Bandits with Picklock for the extra gold generation, and I just like them because they're cheap and they're easy to cycle into the answers you actually need later. And then, of course, we have Goblin Sapper with the rocket-powered turbo boots. I think this talent is mandatory. It's absolutely absurd. And Sappers do insane bursts with Glazed Cannon Relic. Without Glazed Cannon, this is the deck I would be running. Now, I replaced Pyromancer with Safe Pilot because I noticed on stage 2, a lot of the time, there will be something that's protecting the gargoyle, and it will be behind the gargoyle. So Safe Pilot allows you to deal with that a little bit better and allows the Harpies to get in a little bit more cleanly. Whelp Eggs, I just like them for stage 1 and stage 3. It helps you cleanly answer the Murlocs that are just littered everywhere and help you get damage on the Akumai heads or the towers or what have you. Then finally, Stonehoof Tarn, you just need a frontliner, and Momentum or Pummel are great talents for that role. This deck would be a little bit more level sensitive though. So this is a Glazed Cannon build, and we're using a lot of glass cannon type units to take advantage of that. Starting out here, we want to drop our Defiance Bandits to send both, one to each chest, and then we're going to use the Whelp Eggs directly on top of these Murlocs to clear them out. If you have Safe Pilot, it will work just as well, especially with Glazed Cannon. It's a little bit more level sensitive otherwise. The damage nerfs to Safe have made it a little less effective against these Murlocs. -2 coming in hot kills all 3 but dies. -3 kills only 2 but not the healer. Cloaking at -2 kills all 3, but one of them has to be preoccupied. Cloaking at -3 will kill 2 of the Murlocs, whichever are closest. And if you do it on the bridge, unfortunately, it doesn't seem to hit all of them unless you get really lucky. So it is very difficult to get good value from Safe against these Murlocs. And I tried Skeleton Party as well, and they seem to do laughably bad. So you kind of have to play it by ear and be very careful how you use Safe to answer this. So we have a pretty sizable gold advantage from the Defias taking both chests and neutralizing the Murlocs to do so. So now we're going to push right. My Harpies will take out this Ogre as I use the Earth Elemental to distract him. And now I'm going to place my Whelp Eggs in this little alcove here, right on this line. I don't like to put it too far in because it messes with the Murlocs and they detonate it funny and then they don't all die. So I like putting it on that line. It seems to work best. We're going to take this tower on the left with the Sappers just for the extra gold we get from Sneed's passive. And also because it gives us a little bit of a buffer from anything that decides to go left. So it's been about 40 seconds, and I anticipate that these chests are going to come back up here soon. So I drop Defias Bandits and split them so I can get the bonus gold from both sides. And this is how I snowball a lead. And even though I make really bad trades here, I lose my Blackrock Pyromancer for free to this Wolf, and I'm not able to clear this Ogre Mage, I'm still able to be significantly far ahead. And you know, I'm overcapped on gold at this point even because I'm not sure how to spend it exactly. I know that these Murlocs are about to come out and I don't really know exactly how I'm going to answer them. So unfortunately, I lose those Harpies for free again. But again, we're super far ahead and we just have to figure out a way to deal with these Murlocs. And this is a very difficult thing to do. So if you don't have these two upper Murlocs to attack these eggs, you're never going to be able to clear this bottom Murloc with this deck. And this is a weakness that I identified while I was running it. So this is another circumstance where, I mean, you could use the Harpies to clear the bottom one, but you may want to run the safe pile instead of the Pyromancer, simply because it gives you another out against that bottom Murloc in case you get in that circumstance. So again, the chests are back up. We're going to rotate to the Defias Bandits, and now I'm going to try and create an opening for my sappers to get to the tower and take it, because it's just taking forever to take this tower, man. We finally get it, and the whelp eggs take care of the prowler, and the murlocs come out on the side. And now we're going to try and secure this gold with a kobold. I don't want this tower to fully turn because I think it's easier to take if it's not sniping my sappers. If I can rotate back to my sappers on the left, I'll be able to preserve gold and take this tower back, or the earth elemental can solo it for me, which he does. You see, I got the 2 gold there as well. And now I'm going to set up my eggs on the right here. I'll do them a little bit too far to the right, I think, but it might be okay. We'll see here in a minute. And this tower front line is going to allow me to snowball into the late game. So I split up my Defias Bandits again because I'm kind of anticipating yet another chest to come out. I'm going to take this gold. Basically, we're just trying to get a massive gold advantage, and that's our win condition here as we try and push into the boss. I'm going to put an Unbound next to the boss because he does this little glow thing where he stuns everything next to him. I want to put that on cooldown as my main push walks into the boss here. And this will allow me to do more damage to the boss as my sappers get close. So now that my sappers have walked into the boss, we've done a significant amount of damage. I try and use an Unbound again to trigger that stun. As my next set of sappers go in, he's at low health, and the whelp eggs are just enough to finish him off here. So easy stage 1 as a result, of course, from all those gold advantages we got. So these relics are not super impressive, except for this Windrunner Shroud, which makes my fast minis, the sappers, and the harpies stealth, which buys them a lot of extra time when trying to do what they need to do. I'm going to send out some sappers to try and take this tower. Only one of them is going to get in, unfortunately. That's just how it goes with Glazed Cannon. The tower will snipe one of them. I deem that the Drake is close enough to the Grgl, so I drop my Black Rock Pyromancer to answer it. It's a very nice, clean answer. Unfortunately, I didn't really play very quickly. I should have dropped the whelp eggs immediately to go into this tower, or have something to tank it at least. But fortunately, they got my back, and they spawned a Dark Iron Miner, which stalled me just long enough. We're going to use the Harpies on the left here to take care of this. And just note that the Grgl actually has such a massive collision that it keeps the vultures back. And I didn't really have to worry too much about losing my Harpies to the vultures doing damage to them. You do have to worry about things like drakes though, so that's something we want to try and look out for here. Now, we're not super worried about this drake because my tower is probably going to be able to take care of it. So we're just going to wait for that to be dealt with, and we're going to attend to the right here and see if we can't maybe secure that gold mine in the future. Now that the drake is targeting my barracks, we're going to spawn some harpies behind it to take it out. And we're going to resume our push on the left. I want to secure this tower if possible and drop the earth elemental to distract it. Now, unfortunately, it does attract the drake over, and I am able to fortunately kill the drake with the poison that my harpies had, but just barely. It would have been nice, I think, if I spawned my earth elemental a little bit more to the left to prevent that from happening, because I don't really want that middle aggro to occur. You'll note here that all these little flyers are really weak, and the towers can actually solo them on their own, so you don't really have to deal anything with them. You don't have to spawn anything. The towers are going to clean up real nice, and it's going to save me a lot of gold to deal with the boss here, even though, I'm not mining anything in particular. We're going to send the harpies out. We're going to use the whelp egg to distract, and we're going to use this pyromancer to clean up this big gaggle of units. I really like the pyroblast talent to deal with the Grgl quickly because of that. Notice where I spawn my earth elemental there? It's on the bottom left corner of the boss, and that causes the drake to spin around away from my units, which buys time for my pyromancer to clean up and the sappers to go in. Easy stage 2. I'm never going to mine 3 gold, so this relic is pretty useless overall. And I like the Vanishing Powder because all my units are basically squads and fragile, so when they die, they're going to stealth everything around them. So I end up going with the Vanishing Powder. I think it's very good with this Glazed Cannon build. And the ranged poison's okay as well, but the Vanishing Powder is just so much better in my opinion. So starting out here, this is a default spawn. It always happens. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do here. I want to save up enough gold so I can push into the right. And I decide I'm going to try the sappers on the right just to see how effective they are. And just look how much they chunked that Akumai head. It's really nice with the Glazed Cannon build. So I set up my harpies on the left. I'm going to use my whelp eggs to blow up the 2 murlocs on the left. And I'm going to use the earth elemental to try and tank the boss. Unfortunately, he gets stealthed by the banishing powder, but it's fine because it's going to walk into the tower and it's going to cleanly allow me to take that tower. So now I want to try and push on the right here. I've cleanly taken the tower. We're very easily going to defend it with the whelp eggs that are on the right. And now my sappers are stealth, so I'm going to let them go into the boss here, which will finish him off. Sapper is very nice for taking out these heads. So now we unfortunately have a little bit of a problem. My tower never spawned because the Defias made it. So we're going to use the whelp eggs to clean that up. And you can see the last Akumai head is actually very low from just all the residual stealth units that made it to it. So now we're just trying to clean up and stabilize our final push on the left here. I'm going to use the Earth Elemental to spin him away from my whelp eggs, and hopefully they will just splash him with 1 or 2 hits and take him down. So now I want to try and take this tower, or this chest on the right. Unfortunately, the stairs and the distance of the Pyromancer means that I'm not in range to take that chest. So we end up losing it. That's okay because the Pyromancer I have directed to go left to clean up those harpies. And from here, it's usually very easy to win. My sappers are stealth, so they're just going to run up to the boss. Otherwise, you'd have to make like harpies or something and just spin the boss away with an unbound, either your whelp eggs or your Earth Elemental if you're running this particular build. So I'm going to just continue to push on the right here just to try and take him out. As my harpies approach, I'm going to spin the boss away because I don't want him to breathe poison gunk in front of my harpies and then automatically kill them. And now I'm going to try and establish my push on the left here because I unfortunately lose the meeting stone to those stealth Defias bandits. One of the drawbacks of everything being stealth in your deck is that it's hard to get the Defias to come out of stealth. So I'm just going to use these whelp eggs to hold this meeting stone. And if you know me, I'm not trying to climb, so I just want to prove that it is possible to clear this level very comfortably and then move on, because I want my levels to be low just for now because I like to farm the Arclight energy. So now I'm just trying to secure the gold on the right, and I don't really want to rush and get backdoored by like a Crowbar on my base. So I just want to make sure that I have enough damage to push on the left. Whelp eggs are going to do a massive amount of damage. I'm a little bit scared they'll actually just delete the boss because he's armored, so a lot of his health is like hidden from that armor. So this is a second run we did here with the same build, and I just wanted to show that it was even easier. I have half my base health remaining. The sappers just go in and instantly delete these guys. They're all very low. So I hope that this video has given you some inspiration on how to run Sapper with Sneed using the Glazed Cannon Relic. Otherwise, I have another build here for you to consider. And that's going to do it for me. Thank you all for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And I will catch you on the flip side, you all. Take it easy. Bye-bye.